Ooh, Face Sensei here, back with another video. Okay, we have two videos almost back to back. I'm not sure when this video is going up, but at least 2 in 1 week. So we are rolling in 2022. Moneykicks versus Floyd Mayweather. Potential fight in Dubai. Okay, is this good? Is it bad? Here's the thing. I heard it's a private match. Okay, so that does make a difference. Before we get into anything, let's talk about who Moneykicks is, right? Who is this guy that he's fighting? He's an influencer, a gamer of sorts, right? And a YouTuber. And he had a one boxing match. So we're going to look at that and break down who Moneykicks is. And then we'll talk about whether this is good or bad for the sport of boxing. A knockout here.
We got the baby being the baby.
And the baby's in the corner.
He's gonna the baby.
He can't get better.
Now, this is obviously influencer boxing, right? Moneykicks is a YouTuber and an influencer. Moneykicks is on. This is Moneykicks right here. Okay, not a boxer or any background in any sport or an athlete. Maybe he has a different. But obviously, you can tell his physique is not like he's gonna pose any threat to Floyd.
Here we go.
So it's the main event. A little wild.
Nice shot from Ashman.
All right, so you can tell right off the bat this is like below amateur. This is guys like first fight. They just started training. It's all very new to them, clearly.
Put it on him
Moneykicks
really early.
right.
I could imagine really quick the adrenaline must be super high. Adrenaline's high when you first start training and sparring and you have your first match regardless. But when you go into an event like this, your first fight or your first couple fights are at this level in terms of venue and promotion, it's got to be intense.
Oh no.
Ashman Khan is coming for a knockout in the first round.
I think so.
I heard his corner just saying.
All right, let's
to
get
him,
some
"Be
action
very
here, guys."
aggressive on him." And I think that could be the game plan of Mr. Khan.
Oh, those feet aren't working there for Mr. Khan.
Oh!
Very nice.
Oh, big right hand.
Oh, bit of a brawl going on there.
Okay, so he has a right hand. Interesting.
Big.
Oh, another big right
right
hand.
kick.
Who took that?
I think they both took it.
They both took it right on
Many
the
money
jaw.
kicks.
Throws it pretty well, but you can tell doesn't have a lot of power, right? This guy is not posing a big threat and is just walking into it.
Actually, Moneykicks, I think, is the one that hit it. I think Ashman is the one that took it.
Couple of fake jabs coming out from Ashman Khan, trying to feel out the distance.
Oh, 100%, and it's connected more than once.
The question is if it connects and Ashman Khan takes
Come on,
it,
come on.
what else
get
does
this KO.
Moneykicks have in his bag of arsenals here?
That's a very good question. Very good.
You know,
Oh,
Ashman
nice.
Khan's dropping
there.
his
Oh, the right
left
hand, this is
nice
rough.
over.
This guy's,
I
other
like the
guy's got no
aggressiveness
defense.
of Belhassi. I think
Come
one of
on,
the
get to the
biggest
good stuff
moments on his
here.
First fight was that
Proper way of actually having their hands up. He's
Oh, that guy's dropping
And
his...
he's
Oh,
down.
there it is.
Moneykicks is going for that knockout.
Oh, look at the stare down.
Oh, big shot from Moneykicks. Moneykicks is going for that knockout.
Oh, big. Okay, so it was more of a push at the end.
He's down.
But he did catch him pretty good. He did catch him. He did catch him pretty solid.
And it's
Oh, I love it.
over.
They called it. I love it. Look at him. Look at him. Intense.
Moneykicks.
In the
And the baby
sportsmanship.
jumps in. The baby jumps in.
That's the baby is there jumping in?
He
Ah,
lets them
interesting.
know. He lets them know.
All right, that was wild. Okay, also, it seems as though he had some feedback from Logan Paul here. So he might have trained with Logan, so maybe that'll be an advantage of some sorts.
Couple things that are semi-easy to apply that can change your game. I had one guy come in one day, he goes, yo, when you do a feint, step, really. Both my feet are moving, bro. So I'm like this, it's not just here.
Good advice.
Both my feet, I would take a little step forward. And it's so easy, but for some reason, bro, everyone bites on it.
Great advice. When you feint, you want to make sure you sell it as much as possible. So when I'm trying to teach a feint or practice a feint, I try to make it a certain percentage of the technique. So if a 100% of a jab is a fully extended jab I'm stepping into, a feint would be 10% of a jab, 50% of a jab. So it's the same motion instead of just throwing my hand up, right? Because it doesn't look like a jab. So when you're throwing a punch, you have your feet behind it, you have your hips behind it, you turn. Sometimes you can just throw, but that's less of a feint and more of a distraction, more of something you're trying to distract your opponent with. But a feint, when you showing body mechanics, turn your hips, using your footwork as well, it's best. So if you're practicing feints, my suggestion is just throw a certain percentage of the mechanic, right? Again, if a cross is twisting, pivoting, rotating, throwing the hand out, just twist, pivot and rotate, and then come back. So like that'll be your feint, just a certain percentage of it. This way you don't gotta make stuff up and do some weird funky stuff.
Floyd, the whole first round, I was laughing at him. I every move I made.
I like how you started. I liked it. He went to fight.
And there's one point you can see me. I'm like, oh, you.
All right, so he talks about how he that Floyd was reacting to his feints and that he was getting him to bite on it. Now, when it comes to someone throwing feints, I don't think Floyd, you're not overreacting. The issue comes in when you overreact to feints, right? When you overreact and you leave yourself open. Now, if he's reacting to a feint, which means if you throw a jab and his hand just comes up, or you're going to fake a hook and he just brings his hand up, now he's just being prepared and he's ready, so he's respecting you in your ability, but not overreacting to your feints. He's being cautious and being defensive, as we know Floyd to be. But if you're feinting and they're moving, you have to be careful, because if they're ready to counter you, you could be in trouble, and that happens as well, especially at a high level. But if you can get someone to overreact, right, that's what you're looking for. But if someone's not overreacting, which means they don't do this to a jab, but they just do this, or there's slight movements, which means they're not going outside of their position, they're not losing position or losing their base or their balance, then still be ready, because they're going to come back pretty fast. So don't read too much into it here. Floyd is always prepared on defense. Okay, so the real question is this bad for boxing? Right? I think no. Why? Because this isn't boxing, right? Moneykicks versus Floyd Mayweather. So far, the potential talks are about it being in Dubai. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be private or not. I believe Floyd has done private exhibitions in the past for large amounts of money. Now, this isn't boxing. The only issue would be is if they sell it as a legitimate fight, that if Moneykicks actually has a chance to win. Right, with Logan and Floyd, they try to sell it as an actual fight so they can make it a global thing and get a ridiculous pay-per-view and make a ridiculous amount of money, which I guess Logan hasn't seen any of, which is crazy. But they're trying to sell it as an actual fight where there's going to be some sort of competition because Logan was bigger, etc. Right? But with this one, if they're just going to offer Floyd Mayweather a bunch of money to box somebody, why not do it? Right? If he's going to sell it and try to get people's hard-earned money on a pay-per-view and try to tell you that it's going to be an actual fight and sell it, then you have an issue, because that's where it becomes unethical and against the sport, right? Because the sport is about competition and athletes in competition. But if he's just doing an exhibition, or he's going somewhere privately and they say, hey, we're going to give you $5 million or $1 million to put on a show because we want to watch you fight, and we have a guy here who's going to bring a bunch of promotion, who cares, right? Really, honestly, who cares? In my mind, I don't think it's bad for boxing, because it shows a path for boxers who notoriously and historically have a hard time post a career financially, right? What do they do after their career if they're not have other avenues of making money or income? A lot of guys will fight beyond their prime, right, and take a lot of unnecessary damage because they need the money. Remember, this is prize fighting. So you get a lot of world champions and fighters who have a name that will fight past their prime against really good competition and risk their health even more. But if Floyd Mayweather's able to do these exhibition boxing matches, by Tension, that kickboxer, against Logan Paul, right, other influencers, something like Moneykicks, if he's not selling it as a fight, which with Logan, he kind of was just saying that he's having fun. Same thing. If he doesn't sell it as a fight, but he gets paid, why not? I think it's good for fighters to be able to do that. I would like to see other fighters do that. Whenever I hear about a fighter making money and not taking a lot of risk, then it's good. Now, obviously, I would hope that there's some rules and stipulations, whether it's headgear or no knockout or something along those lines, more charity match type rule set, then that would be something that obviously is cool. You don't want anyone to get, bludgeoned or absolutely really, really hurt. Something like Moneykicks, you don't want to get destroyed. But to be honest, if it's just something that he's doing on his own and it's private and it's for a bunch of money, by all means, go make the money. The only issue I would have in terms of boxing is if they're trying to sell it as an actual bout, as an actual fight and competition. More power to you, right? And that's how I look at a lot of these things. So again, if they're not selling real fight, real competition, then do you, right? That's what I say. Let me know your opinion, right? Obviously, this is a no contest in terms of who would win. Clearly, it's not even a conversation. It's not even something to react to or even discuss. But what is your opinion on these type of things? Is it a mockery of the sport, and is it bad to the sport? After hearing what I said, in my opinion about. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Oos.